We begin right now here at 6 o'clock. Investigators have finally broken into the phone of a suspected killer. Zachary Hughes is charged with murder stemming from the October 2021 stabbing death of Christina Parcell. Experts spent 9 months making more than 670,000 attempts at guessing Hughes' passcode before hitting on the correct one. Greenville County deputies say Hughes killed Parcell at her home on Canebrake Drive in Greer. Reports say she was stabbed 31 times. Now the state wants the court to hold Hughes in contempt. They say he should have had the passcode sooner. Fox Carolina's Grace Runkle joins us live with much more tonight. Grace.
Well, investigators say Zachary Hughes' iPhone will help them figure out exactly what happened at the Parcell home on Canebrake Drive here on October 13th, 2021. Now, according to new court documents, experts cracked the code back in February, but the solicitor's office says they should have been given the code back in September. Why didn't they get it? Well, Hughes says he couldn't remember it. Now, the state does not buy that excuse. We read through their latest motion, and they call out Hughes' skills as a Juilliard-trained pianist, saying Hughes played all 32 of Beethoven's sonatas from memory. That's about 10 hours of music, but, quote, stated he could not remember a combination of 6 digits and/or symbols in order to unlock a device which defendant possessed and used each day. Now, we last saw Hughes in September when he had to appear in court for when the court decided that he needed to release his passcode. Now his attorneys will have a chance to respond, but the big question is, when will we see him in court again? Well, it might take a while because as of right now, a trial date has not been set. Grace Runkle, Fox Carolina News.